Right, so today's day is today's day. What a shit start. So quite a long overdue video this. Today we're gonna have a look at the Vauxhall Corsa and see if we can fix the exhaust blow on it. It's been blowing quite a long time. I suspect it's probably the flexi pipe, but we'll have to get under and find out. First thing to do, get it on the quick jack. I should add to that, what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to start on the car and then realise I can't finish it, my other half needs it sorted pretty pronto for an MOT soon. So I've got the full system, so from the cat all the way back to the tip. So along with the gaskets and a new clamp. So in theory, I've got everything needed to replace it. And the exhaust I'm fitting is a Euroflo, which I've read some bad reviews on. But looking at it in the living room, it seems fine. The mid section is ridiculously long though, so that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be doing this job yourself. How the hell are you going to transport the mid section from your motor factors? Right, so the car's up in the air, and the back box is pretty well. The mid section box is pretty much rotten. You can see there, those bolts aren't looking too great. In fact, are they bolts or are they studs? That'll probably all need replacing. And then there appears to be a bit of an oil leak on there. The lighting's not great. So yeah, good job I've got some cut off wheels to cut off the studs if need be. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a long job, bit of a pain getting the quick jack on the car. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do. The blocks lift up the car, but there's other low parts of the body that it tries to fail on, but I got the car up in the end. So we carry on. Right, well, I've had some success. The studs and bolts, or nuts, sorry, all come off of there. Two come undone with an impact gun and some releasing oil, and the last one, the one closest, this one here, that was a bit more stubborn. Had to use a 11mm socket and bang that on, all the rust come off, and then managed to undo that without snapping the stud. Having a look at the back box, I've removed the rubbers, which you might be able to see, and actually one of them fell off the exhaust, the one on your right hand side. If I can have a look, you might see it's not there, it's just hanging in the rubber. So this exhaust is dead. And I've also detached the O2 sensor. That was a nice easy plug to get to just above. What else? I've had a look at the oil. The oil leak, I can't see anything obvious. There was a problem we had before with this car where the wiring loom, or the oil pressure sensor, had gone duff and the oil was going in the wiring loom. So it might be residue from that, because it seems to have come out of the O2 sensor wiring plug. So yeah, I'm making progress. Actually, that should be the hardest part of the job done. I've just now got to go down, take this support bar off, which is 16mm, and then I can drop this down, and then I can get to the rear of the car and have a look at this exhaust clamp. So I will carry on. Right, so we're at the back of the car. You can see the state of that. And I realised I might have fucked up a bit here, because I was sure this car had a chrome exhaust, but it appears it hasn't. I'm sure it did, so it can't have fallen off. I'm sure at one time that was the option that she got when she bought the car. Anyway, you can see that hanger there is rotten. clamp there doesn't look too bad. You can see I've dropped the exhaust down now. Rest of the car all looks pretty good. Nothing obviously wrong with it. So yeah, I've just got to get these. I think there's 2 hangers on this exhaust. Get those off. Yeah, there's one there, and this clamp. So we'll see how we get on. Right, so by far the hardest job I've had to do so far today on this is to remove and fit the oxygen sensor. So just a tip in future, if anyone gets stuck, obviously in my case the exhaust was scrapped and this is completely seized in the old one. So what I've done is I've got a Dremel with a speed click metal cutting disc, and I cut a slit along here, just gradually worked in further and further inwards till I could see I was starting to get to where the threads were, and then once I got to that point it was just a case of yanking on this quite tight and it come undone. By cutting the threads you're effectively removing the clamping pressure around this, so that worked quite well. I did end up with some penetrating oil on this sensor, so it possibly could fail and not work, but new sensor is probably going to be about 40 quid, so I figured it's worth trying to cut it out first. And now we're pretty much good to go. Only small issues, if we take a wander around, is originally this car had a chrome exhaust. I'm sure it did. I definitely remember it being an option when my other half brought it. Well, the chrome tip has fell off, so I ordered a exhaust that has got a chrome tip, and the bumper hasn't got the right cutout for it. So what I'm just using now is a Dremel just to slightly open up the bumper so that it will fit properly. Obviously this is not ideal, but for my other half's car she doesn't really care, and the chrome tip will look pretty decent on it. So I've got to do a bit more with a Dremel to sort that out, but we're gradually getting there. Right, it's all back together. New gasket. If I turn that round, see the exhaust all there. It's a bit funny on the hangers on the middle section, but there's not much I can do about that. I suppose that's what happens with aftermarket exhausts. Normally I quite like getting adjustable hangers with different holes, because then you can get it spot on, but for this should be fine. And lambda sensors in, hopefully that won't give any problems. I cut some of the back bumper away so that now the exhaust sits quite nicely in there, and I think we're all ready. So it's been a bit of a pain in the arse, obviously, because nothing's been straightforward to fit, but we've got there in the end. These are going to be the things that take you the time. These and the C's lambda sensor. I've just used some Nylox M8, which I know is not ideal because of the heat, but that's all I've got at hand now. So what I'll probably do is leave those as they are for now, and I'll buy some M8 flanged exhaust nuts, which will be perfect for this, but they'll be alright for now just to clamp it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Till next time.